think so.
Yeah.
We're technically live.
We're live. I see there's a... Right there.
Yeah, that's exactly where...
There on the screen.
Am I pointing at it?
CJ pointed in the wrong spot, but you're pointing right exactly where it is.
I'm pointing right where it is. Let's see if I
Maybe
can...
for you.
Let's see if I can get it. It's not coming up. Give it a little... There it is. Right there.
Give it a little, how's your father?
Give it a little woo! Right up in its... Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yes.
Kind of weird.
Somebody say something in a chat so we know if this works.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Somebody type something. If someone
type some words,
and then let us know you put something in the chat in case we don't see it.
It should say everything.
Does it?
Oh, there we go. Look at that.
I'd say
we wrote
there.
that.
Oh,
That's
look.
me.
Oh, that's you.
And then I said it everywhere.
CJ just said hello. Oh,
wow. Oh, there's Devin said something. Scoop Jessica said words.
there you go.
Okay.
All right. It's working. It's even telling us where it's coming from. That's
yeah.
high technology.
Right. Isn't it though?
Evan and Jessica are watching via YouTube. I can tell because a little YouTube symbol right there. And CJ posted from Twitch and from Facebook. Look at that.
And also YouTube.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Everything.
That one scrolled away on my screen.
Yeah.
I can't
because
scroll
now
back
we're
up.
on everything.
I can't scroll back up in the chat though.
You can't? Is that
doesn't-
not a thing?
Doesn't seem like it is. No.
Who cares? Why
that's
do we care about this?
Yeah, we don't care about that.
I'm testing the waters of our new Melon app.
The waters.
Yeah, to see how this works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready to go? We ready to do this thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Hello and welcome to episode 746 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, February 23rd, 2021. I am your host, Chris Johnston, and with me, as always, from Canada, Mr. Greg Seward.
So cold. I'm so cold.
Really?
How many pairs of socks you got on?
Two. Like some old, and then slippers. Some old man.
So you have 4 socks on total.
Yes.
Yes.
I had to think about that for a minute.
2 pairs.
2 times 2.
Is it a baker's pair or?
Well, we're not on the metric system here, so.
Right. So I wanted to make sure I didn't confuse you.
So you probably are wearing 20 socks? Is that how that works? I don't know how the conversion.
Multiply by 10.
Is that how?
It's all tens.
Not sure how it works.
Yeah, and joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
I'm just wearing the 1 pair of socks.
So 8 socks?
Yeah.
But not on my feet. So.
Is it? Okay.
I see.
I don't want to give it away.
Hey, someone's watching us on Facebook.
I got it. The second you said not in your feet. I let it go.
Oh yeah, look at that! Someone's watching on Facebook.
We are trying a new streaming thing here, and it's kind of good. It's going everywhere.
So
we're live not only on the YouTubes,
right?
But we're live on the Twitters.
Yeah,
we're live on the
Alpha
Facebooks,
and the Omega.
Yep,
and we're live on Twitch TV.
Yes,
Twitch.tv/P1 Podcast.
Yes, we're Twitch streamers now.
We're everywhere.
Yeah, and
omnipresent.
Twitch streamer.
And we are watching from the website, and it takes all the chat windows and puts them into one big chat.
We can even highlight Derek's post here.
Oh, look at that!
Hello, boys. Look at that.
Can you do that?
Man,
I don't have the ability to do that.
I can do that.
I can't do that.
I don't know how to make it go away, though.
TJ's
So now, for those,
this is just gonna be there.
For those who are listening to this audio only, CJ.
I'm gonna go browse Facebook.
CJ just brought up a chat window that just said "Hello, boys," and it looked like that was going to be here for the whole
time.
But CJ has found out a way to eliminate.
That's right. I can do it.
The messages. There we go. Okay. What is this?
Forever now.
This is
great.
Melon app.
Melon app. We're trying out Melon app.
Melon app.
See how that goes.
The official.
Oh, hey, someone's watching us on Twitch too. Look at that.
Oh, look at this. We got it.
Not for long with this content.
Yeah.
This is the official Gallagher chat because he smashes watermelons.
I see.
In his act when he's not being racist.
Uh-huh.
Is the racism part of his act, or is he just racist?
You know what? I have not watched a Gallagher stand-up set since, probably 1984.
Yeah.
So I don't know if his act now revolves around the racism, or if that's just
seems like a lot of people are doubling down on that sort of behavior. So
well, it does. It
hard to
does.
say.
I don't know. Maybe this is Gallagher's time to shine once again.
Politics with Player One Podcast. I think we're done. Okay, let's move on.
We should get to some video game news because kind of a lot happened.
I met Gallagher at E3
Jesus Christ.
years ago.
Did you really?
I had to have told you about this.
You've told this story on the show.
I did indeed meet him, and it was
Don't let that stop you, though.
And mildly uncomfortable.
He was doing an interactive CD-ROM? Is this?
No, I don't know why he was there.
This was in Jurassic Park.
This was well past Gallagher's Gallery.
Okay.
Which was what was the company that did Mad Dog McCree? American Laser Games. American Laser Games. The American Laser Games, the Mad Dog McCree people, they were doing they did a Gallagher game called Gallagher's Gallery, which I don't know if it was ever released, right?
I'm pretty sure it never came to consoles. If it came
it definitely didn't come to consoles. I don't believe it got out of there might be a handful of test units because I swear I saw one at California Extreme years ago, but I don't think it ever got a wide release. But this was I don't know why he was there.
Did it have a mallet controller?
I don't know. I don't remember.
It better.
I don't remember, but boy, that seems obvious, doesn't it?
It does, right? The game writes itself.
But I was...
Hello, I'll be your narrative designer on the Gallagher interactive CD.
Gallagher's Gallery 2.
We need a hammer controller.
Make that happen.
If that technology exists.
He was not there promoting this because this was well beyond that. I was at E3 for, I don't know if I was at GameSpy or someplace at the time, but I was running from one appointment to another appointment, and I was doing that thing where you're kind of sneaking around through kind of the back sides of the booths.
Yep.
Because there are fewer people there.
With it. Sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of, walking through there, and all of a sudden I see right in front of me, walking towards me, very clearly Gallagher. Which you don't expect to...
Can't be mistaken as anybody else.
You don't expect to see that at any point in your life. Much
How
less
could you tell? Was he carrying a watermelon with him, or
no? It's just
the suspenders.
It's Gallagher. I think he had the floppy Gallagher hat on and everything. And I see him, and I do kind of a double take, and it's very and he can tell that I recognize him. And we kind of stop, and there's an awkward moment of silence, and then I just kind of, you're Gallagher, and he agrees that he is, and
he confirms your suspicions.
And I look down at his name tag because it's E3, and we all have our name badges.
It says Dave Halverson.
He has his. Wow. He has a bunch of stickers that he has placed over his lanyard name badge holder to cover up.
I thought you weren't allowed to do that.
Gallagher can. Are you going to tell Gallagher no?
Celebrity.
Are you going to tell Gallagher no? You cannot hide your true name.
They wouldn't let Tom Cruise do that, but Gallagher.
So yeah, he had blocked all parts of his name except for the Gallagher part, and then I just said I enjoyed your comedy specials.
I was 5.
I neglected to mention when I was enjoying them. But he thanked me, and I let him go about his business, and I ran off to my next appointment, which was obviously less exciting than meeting Gallagher because I don't remember what it was. I don't remember who I went to talk to. Was it EA?
THQ.
Could have been. Could have been.
I don't know.
Could have been anything.
Yep.
You could have been coming with me to interview Hideo Kojima You're like,
Did I interview Hideo Kojima with you?
You came with me. Yeah, you came with me.
At an E3?
Yeah.
I tagged along with you to a few. I don't remember.
Oh, did you not? Were you not with me? Who was it then?
It might not have been me.
I dragged somebody.
I certainly interviewed him at Tokyo Game Show one year.
Right.
At Konami
like
HQ.
Kojima-san. I just ran into Gallagher. And
And
I don't know if you're familiar with his comedy. You find out Kojima is
actually the inspiration for Solid Snake.
Did you get his
Death
card?
Stranding.
Did you get his card? Because I'd like to talk to him about.
Get his card.
He's going to be in Death Stranding too.
Just hang out at the supermarket by the watermelons. You'll find him.
Zone of the Enders 3 is going to have a Gallagher mech in it, and I want to get likeness approval from him. But no, I don't think I tagged along to.
You didn't. Okay. Then,
no,
I forget who it was.
I certainly tagged along with you to your Bruce Campbell interview.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is well known.
Probably could have gotten Phil away from you when you were going to interview Bruce Campbell.
Oh, do I have shit posted to talk to Bruce Campbell about?
Yep.
Oh man, but no.
And Greg, was it you that I dragged along to the Miyamoto interview?
Shigeru Miyamoto, yeah.
Yeah. You didn't ask one question.
Not one question.
It was just me.
I was so starstruck by the whole thing.
Because I interviewed Miyamoto at some point too, and I don't think it was me tagging along, but it might have been. I don't remember.
I've interviewed him multiple times, and
right.
I may have dragged you.
You may have, yeah,
through one of those.
Yeah,
yeah. Anyway,
we needed emotional support at our interviews.
We did. It was good to have somebody to look at. Like, do you have a question, Mr.
man,
Thompson?
Do you come with the car? Oh, yeah.
So Phil, you look like you have something to say.
Do you? Exactly.
So,
all right.
Like working for Nintendo?
Oh God, I watched that on. I watched a clip of that on YouTube recently. Yeah, it's up there.
This is the Nintendojo Nintendo press conference thing.
Yeah, I forget what year. It was like 2001.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, I think, my first. That would be my second E3 with Ziff Davis then. I thought it was my first, though.
And they start the Q&A.
Yeah.
They start the Q&A session.
Yeah.
They're not even like fully set up for it.
Right.
Like all the executives at Nintendo are still sitting down on their chairs.
Also
getting ready, and it's a Nintendojo guy at the microphone.
Probably worth mentioning that this is the press conferences were significantly smaller than what you might be imagining.
Much smaller. It was in
a giant arena.
No,
filled with people.
No,
and they were more expecting him to start reciting like beatnik poetry or something. It was more that size of a crowd.
Yeah.
Before this, they were much more businessy than they are now, or even I think like a year after, they didn't even do Q&A.
Right. They were doing Q&A. That tells you how small this was.
Yeah. They were so anyway, this guy, I guess a freelancer for Nintendojo, gets up to the mic and asks in very broken Japanese a question.
Yeah.
Which all the executives are still sitting down. They didn't even hear it.
Right.
And they ask him to ask it again in English this time.
Yeah.
Which he does, and it boils down to, Miyamoto, do you like working in Nintendo? First question.
He was like, no.
E3. Yeah, the big shock was no.
It was a big shock.
Top headline next morning.
I'm holding out.
Nobody's ever asked me that. Actually, I kind of hate it.
I'd be so funny if the tears. No one's ever asked me that. No one's ever thought to ask me. What do I think?
I've been making these Marios and Zeldas and Donkey Kongs all this time, trying to get Sega to notice me, but they never call.
I want to make the next Alex Kidd.
I keep refreshing their website, seeing if they have a new job posting. But
their website. Jobs at Sega.com. Nobody ever answers.
Nope. I think it's a joke.
Yeah. But I hate it here.
It's funny. All right. Should we get to the news?
Yeah, sure.
I think we should.
Sure.
Because there was a Nintendo Direct last week, the first one since the fall of 2019. So
Yeah.
a lot of pent-up demand.
It's been that long?
It has been that long.
And
yeah.
For the fact that 2020 lasted about 80 years, it went by really fast, too.
It did.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Where'd Phil go?
Who cares? Keep going.
Suddenly I don't see him.
I think
He must have turned off his
put
stuff.
his hand up as though he was leaving for a moment.
Okay. Does that mean we should continue?
I'm good to keep going. I'm here. I'm here
Okay.
for you, man.
So yeah, it's been a while.
We should wait for Phil. No, I'm just
should
kidding.
wait.
Go ahead. No, we shouldn't wait for Phil. Keep going. We're completely off the rails now. And now you're giggling. So now we're screwed.
Now we have to wait. Damn.
Nobody on Facebook's going to keep watching us if we keep doing this.
That's true.
You're killing the show.
Can I unmute him? Can I
No, he just what look
He is
see
gone.
that's not good.
See, I can do it.
You should never do that.
do that.
No, see. Oh,
Why?
that's
Should I not have done that?
why? You really don't understand why that's not okay?
Just wait till you do it. Yeah. All right.
You're going to point my camera at the ceiling. You son of a...
There you go. All right. So where were we? Nintendo Direct.
We need
First
to go back
one
and edit
since-
this video where we can just put something in there when you turn the camera back on, something completely... Oh my god.
Exactly. Nintendo Direct. First one since 2019. We have a lot of big announcements in here, and I want to kick off with what happened at the end of the show, and that's Splatoon 3 revealed for 2022 release. But a lot of cool details here about Splatoon 3. It's going to be in a new place with some new character abilities. You can jump out of the ink now. A lot of new weapons sort of previewed in this. And at the beginning of the battles, Turf Wars, you can select where you land on a stage.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And they showed off a bow weapon as well. It was one of the big highlights of this trailer. So I'm pretty excited about Splatoon 3. It's been a long time since the second one came out. I'm wondering what other sorts of things, besides Turf War, what we're going to see in this sequel. Whether we will see like an expansion of Salmon Run, or if there will be like a PvE mode with stages that you can go through with friends. Like, what exactly is this?
I would like that.
Be?
I
would really like that too.
I would play Splatoon with a mode like that. I'm so over PvP in general.
Yeah.
That I'm just like, that's why I don't touch Splatoon. Splatoon's a great little game.
It is.
It's not for me. So it's one of the reasons why I don't play much Sea of Thieves either. So
I mean, I like Splatoon because there's no voice chat, so I don't have to talk to anybody. Nobody can tell me how much I suck at the game. And you can, if you're painting the ground, you're contributing. It doesn't matter what your kill death ratio is or any of that stuff.
Sure.
So I enjoy it for that reason alone, pretty much. But very excited about Splatoon 3 coming out in 2022. I hope they do like a test fire of this to just like preview some of the stages and some of the battle mechanics. That would be really cool.
I hope that we hear about it again before 2022. I hope it's
I'm sure we will.
Metroid Prime 4 situation.
I'm sure we will. This is a hotly anticipated game.
So is Metroid Prime 4.
What are you guys talking about?
That we're talking about Splatoon 3.
Oh.
See, I
Not
told
very
you
excited.
you could start without him.
I'll be out. I'll be out there. Oh, Finn's having a minor. He's having
Tizzy.
Well, you know what happened?
Tantrum.
He was playing some game in Roblox. Okay.
Oh, I know this
I
tantrum.
told you not to let him play that.
And
I know
it was-
this tantrum
it's
very well.
It's one of those games where you get little pets, and he had some rare pet that you could only get during like a holiday event or something, and he got tricked by some random person offered to trade him. Hey, I'll trade you that pet for this other pet. And this other pet, it was a seemingly rare pet, and he did it. And then he found out that this pet that he got traded is coming back into the game, so he traded his very rare pet for something that's not as rare, and he's heartbroken. He's having a little breakdown out there because he lost his beloved pet. And now we know not to trade with randos.
This is a good lesson for him to learn. Quite honestly,
it's a tough lesson.
Learn that early. It's a very tough lesson,
but it's a good lesson.
Absolutely.
Is that what you said to him? You just said you walked in, said that, and walked out again?
Yep. Tough luck, bud.
Now you know not to trade. Have fun.
Never trade with anybody.
Don't interrupt me with crap like this again.
Exactly. I have Splatoon 3 to go be whatever about.
Indifferent about.
Exactly.
What if it had like a co-op PvE mode that you could hop into there, Phil? You like that?
What,
like
Roblox?
shoot.
Look, Splatoon.
Well, you do have a pet in Splatoon 3. You have a little the salmon kid guy, a little salmonid dude.
Splatoon is fine. I like Splatoon. I recognize Splatoon is a quality game.
Yeah.
I am very happy for everyone who is excited about Splatoon 3. But Splatoon I find very, very interesting for about an hour.
Yep.
And then I stopped caring about Splatoon.
Okay.
And then Splatoon 2, which if you asked me to identify, if you showed me video of Splatoon and Splatoon 2 and said which one's which, I could not tell you.
Okay. I might even have trouble with that.
Well, of course you would. And it'll be the same with Splatoon 3. And
I don't know about that.
And I picked up Splatoon 2. I had a blast with it for an hour, and then I was done. So
I spent 120 hours playing Splatoon 2.
Well, I am glad you did. I'm glad you did. But
conversations feel like it's been about 120 hours.
Yeah. Well, here's another game I might spend over 100 hours on. Mario Golf Super Rush.
Oh, see, here we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you're back in.
Yeah.
I do like Mario Golf.
Yeah, as soon as you could tell that's what it was, I was like, okay, so I'm buying that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't even need to know anymore. I mean, everything looked great, but I didn't need to see any of it because
they don't even need to say anything more. Comes out end of June. I'm totally there.
It's got the RPG mode.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm not as excited about the RPG mode. What I want to know about is async tournaments, and whether we'll be able to do the tournament thing like we did.
Player one tournaments, yeah.
Was that the 3DS game that we did that with, or?
Well, we did it more with the Hot Shots Open T games.
Yeah. Did we?
Yeah.
We did do it with the 3DS one though.
We did it with the 3DS.
Sure, but I just remember it more for those games. But.
Which I didn't really like the 3DS one though.
No? Oh man.
Not really.
I liked it.
Not really.
I liked it.
None of them have been as good as the Game Boy Color game.
Well, that's the problem, right?
No.
Game Boy Color game was a masterpiece. That game was great.
Absolutely. Yes, it was. Yeah.
And it had the RPG mode too.
Yes, it did.
Yeah,
so did the game. Boy, those Game Boy Color, because the tennis one had the same thing.
Yeah, I never really get it. I mean, I think that's more just because tennis is tennis, and I don't care about tennis. You know what I mean? Golf. I'm not a big golf fan, but I love playing video game golf.
Right.
I'm not necessarily that good at it, but
right.
you know.
No, I love the Game Boy Color golf and tennis were just so good.
I was so disappointed with the Game Boy Advance versions of both those games.
Yeah.
Not that they were bad games.
No, they were
Game Boy Color games.
No.
So
Nintendo peaked too soon with the golf and tennis.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah. I didn't even play that much of the Switch tennis game.
Yeah.
No, I bounced off that.
Kind of bounced off that super quick.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping this golf game is better. I have my fingers crossed.
So
I have my pre-order already
it's Camelot, right? Or what are they called? Is it Camelot?
Yeah, Camelot.
Yeah, Camelot's the developer. So right there, you know, it's going to be a good game.
Well, they did the 3DS game too.
Well, they've done a lot of those golf.
Didn't they do the tennis game?
Didn't they do all the Hot Shots games too? No, it was Clap Hands.
Yeah.
Clap Hands did the new ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Camelot did the original.
Right.
Hot Shots
one. Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Either way, excited.
Yes.
All over it.
Very.
Yes.
Very
Hopefully
excited.
We'll do some P1P tournaments like we used to.
I'm
sure our listeners will put them together if we don't anyway.
We definitely will.
Yeah.
All right. So then also towards the end of the Nintendo Direct, we got the reveal of Skyward Sword HD. Yeah. Skyward Sword HD. What do you think of this? You guys, did either of you finish Skyward Sword?
Oh, I loved Skyward Sword.
I played about 5 hours of Skyward Sword and then stopped.
Skyward Sword was.
I've seen a trend with you playing
Princess.
a couple hours of a game and then stopping.
Well, Skyward
and I do it too. I do it too.
I did not. Well, the problem with this is I did not really like Skyward Sword.
It starts off super slow.
It does.
Yeah,
and I hope they address some of these issues. We can talk about motion control later.
You had to use motion control, which was a problem.
You had to use it, yeah. And the way around it is now they're going to allow you to do the motion control sword slashes with the right analog stick.
Perfect.
Which I think is fine. You can't get rid of it entirely because
the game's built around it.
The game is built around it. Many puzzles in the game require you to slash this way or that way or up and down. Like they require a particular directional slash that you have to do. So, yeah. They had to integrate it some way.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get people who didn't like that game. There were reasons not to like that game. I had to overcome the motion control. For me was the biggest hurdle because I didn't like motion control. I thought Twilight Princess sucked playing it with motion control. But I still played that for like 8 or 9 hours because it was a Zelda game. So I figured, sooner or later I'm going to like this, and finally just decided, no, I don't. With Wii Motion Plus, it definitely got better, but I remember playing it, the first boss, I remember actually getting really frustrated in Skyward Sword because it wasn't easy.
No, it was not.
No, it wasn't easy like a first boss should be. Because they were trying to teach you to use the Wii Motion Plus controls properly, and I just wasn't getting it. But then after that, it just kind of clicked, and I got it, and I really liked the world after that. I really liked the way that game looked because it was another great example of Nintendo doing what they always did and what they always do, playing to their weakness, their system's weaknesses in creative ways. So it got this sort of painterly look to it. Yeah, that I really enjoyed a lot. And Fee talking all the time didn't bother me very much. So
I do hope they address that. I hope they address that.
Yeah. That was one of the reasons why I bounced out of it.
She talks.
I could not handle that.
At least, integrate a way to fast forward her dialogue or something. Like, I'd be fine with that. Leave it as it is. Give me a button to hold down.
Honestly,
and just
the main thing they could do too is rather than fast forwarding, you just make it like you interact with it. If she asks you, like, do you want to hear more about this? You just say no, and then you just skip forward. But
then you're done.
Yeah.
And maybe if they could tighten up the first couple hours, that would be good because a lot of it is just wandering around reading things, and that's not a great start to a Zelda
But like
game.
I said, when I got over that hump, I couldn't put it down. And even though there's a lot of backtracking in that game, because the game's basically split up into 3 huge areas, and then you have to go through all 3 of them again eventually. But to me, they were different enough that it didn't bother me. Like I would almost say similar to say something like a Mega Man 3, where you go through 4 of the stages again at the end of the game before you get to the final castle. That didn't bother me because the stages were so different the second time around that it didn't feel like a retread. That's how the Skyward Sword revisits felt too. To me.
Yeah, except for the Tad Notes section. That, like, there's this whole section at the end of the game where it feels like they're artificially trying to buffer the length of this game.
You feel like they gave it to Rare to finish?
You're like, suddenly I have to collect these different musical notes
for each monkey.
Yeah, it's like one little area where you have to collect different colored musical notes, and it's terrible. It's
terrible,
very bad. But I'm also wondering, like, how the motion controls might be improved, because the Joy-Con, I think, are more responsive in motion control than the Wii Remote. Even the Motion Plus is. I don't know if you've ever tried it on, like, Mario Galaxy, trying the motion controls there. They actually work a lot better than they did on the Wii. So I'm curious to see if I'll maybe have a better time with motion control on this.
If I replay it, I'll be playing it with regular controller controls.
I probably will as well, but I'm gonna
around like a fool this time.
I'm gonna try them to see if they're improved at all. But so the rumors were that we would get Skyward Sword plus Wind Waker plus Twilight Princess HD. Apparently, there's some video game journalists that are saying it's a 100% lock. We're getting Wind Waker and Twilight Princess later in the year as well. Those just weren't announced. Nobody's saying how it's going to be released. There's been a lot of speculation that it might be like one collection for $60 because Skyward Sword by itself is
Skyward Sword, haven't they?
They have, yes.
So that doesn't feel like that's going to happen.
Yeah, unless they do a collection with the 2 Wii U remasters on one.
Yeah, I could see that
collection because Skyward Sword, this is a brand new remaster. So
this is a brand new re-release as opposed to a
brand new re-release. That's right. But 60 frames a second. If you look at the comparison between the Wii graphics and now the Switch 60 frames a second, it looks great. And I, like you, also really like the visual style that they used in Skyward Sword. But apparently we're also getting Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, which I'm a fan of. I finished both of those remasters on the Wii U, but I will definitely buy them again.
I think I'm ready to go back again on Wind Waker. I haven't played Wind Waker since it came out. So
Oh, really?
20 years now. I think I'm ready to replay that game.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah. I didn't finish it on the GameCube. I did finish it on the Wii U.
Oh, did
you? Really? Oh, man, that GameCube. When that came out on GameCube, I was just totally in all the way. That game was beautiful.
That's a really nice game, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. So we are also getting a pair of special edition Zelda Joy-Con. Anybody interested in this?
Okay.
But me.
The next Joy-Con I buy, this. I'm going to pre-order this. The next Joy-Con I buy will have a proper D-pad on it.
Good luck.
The only reason I've bought any extra Joy-Cons up to this point is because the originals I had drifted, then the refurbs I got drifted, and when I sent those back, I just said, screw it, I'm getting a new set of Joy-Cons too.
It would be nice if Nintendo offered even the gray Joy-Con as like a left variant that has a real D-pad, but I feel like they're so committed to the Switch concept and disconnecting the Joy-Con and using those as buttons. And plus, those buttons are shown with the Joy-Con sideways for so many games, like in terms of interface. Like, I almost don't think we're not going to see. We're not going to see that.
It's never going to happen. But no, and I get it. I totally get it. But
you're going to have to get a Switch Lite for that.
Yeah, no, that's not happening either. But anyway.
No. My only disappointment with these Zelda Joy-Con are that they're 2 different colors. They're not the same color blue.
Aren't all Joy-Cons 2 different colors?
Well, no, the gray ones. So that's my only disappointment there. But I'll still buy them. I'm still going to buy them. Anyway, some of the other interesting stuff from the Nintendo Direct, feel free to jump in here at any time as I'm running down this list, guys. Project Triangle Strategy, a new game from the Octopath Traveler team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm not a real-time strategy kind of guy, though.
I'm hearing good things about it, though.
Yeah.
I thought it was, what was the Bravely Default? What's the engine they're using? What game did that come?
Octopath Traveler.
Octopath Traveler. When I first saw it, I just assumed it was an Octopath Traveler. Like when they first started showing it, I assumed it was just another Octopath Traveler, and I kind of switched off because that game was beautiful, but it didn't do anything for me.
Right.
So I never really played it much. But then when they said it was real-time strategy, it's like, oh, okay, I'll try this. Not real-time, sorry. Turn-based strategy, isn't it? Anyway,
it is, yeah.
Strategy, and now hearing people really enjoy it, and it sounds like it's a big demo too. So, but I haven't.
Yeah, it's like a preview demo, and they're going to send around a survey. They did this with Octopath Traveler as well, where they put out a big demo, and then they sent out a survey asking people what they thought of it. But this game is not scheduled to release until 2022.
No.
Yeah. So we also got the announcement of 2 games in the Famicom Detective Club series. They're being re-released and translated into English for the first time, released on Switch in May.
Yes.
And these were disk system games originally, right?
Famicom That's right.
System games?
Yeah.
Wow, what a weird thing to.
From like the Metroid designer, I think.
Yeah, like
if I remember
Right,
correctly.
really.
What an odd choice.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
I would be more interested if they were a little cheaper. They're like $35 each. So I don't know if I'm $35 interested.
On sale. So
well, yeah.
I'm just kidding. They never put things on sale.
I mean, they do, but not deep discount. It's Nintendo stuff. So.
I'm still interested. I'm curious to hear what they're like, and I would definitely want to try them.
Yeah, me as well. And speaking of Miitopia is coming out for Switch. Yeah. Nothing.
Sure.
Yeah, I didn't play it on 3DS because it was right around the time that the Switch came out, so I wasn't playing games on 3DS, and I don't know. It didn't get great reviews when it came out on 3DS, so let's have to see.
What was that other 3DS game?
Tomodachi Life.
That's the one.
Oh God, that was terrible.
I played a little bit of that one and bounced off it almost immediately.
I remember being so excited about that too.
Well, and also Miitopia was like an extension of the Find Me dungeon thing that was
right.
Street Pass game.
Right.
Which
I miss Street Pass games.
Oh man, me
Pass
too.
Games were the best.
Fun. Those were fun.
Great time.
Yeah.
Mario stuff is coming to Animal Crossing, including a warp pipe that you can use to warp from one side of your island to the other.
That's super useful.
That's actually pretty great. Yeah.
That's actually very useful.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. And we got the announcement that Fall Guys is coming to the Switch in the summer. It's also coming to Xbox in the summer.
All right, then.
Long awaited.
Fall Guys is a good time.
Fall Guys is a good time.
I recently replayed. I opened up. I hadn't played Fall Guys in a little while, but I went into it about a week or so ago and played a couple matches. It's a fun little game.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you guys want to talk about any other stuff that I may have missed?
You covered all the stuff
Direct?
I was most interested in there.
Well, I mean, Samurai Warriors 5.
Samurai Warriors 5.
Yes! That was the best game that they showed.
Samurai
Warriors 5.
I remember thinking when I was watching that, because I tried to do the CJ thing where it's like, okay, maybe I'll like Muso if it's a theme I'm invested in some way, right?
Yeah.
Like if they brought out like a Macross Muso, I would probably play it.
Right.
But I've tried it with Zelda and I've tried it with Fire Emblem, and I've come to the realization that these games are not for me.
You just don't like them.
Not. Yeah. But anyway, I'm watching it.
What about it don't you like? I'm curious. Just what
I don't even. I can't even put my finger on it. They're just not for me. I don't.
Okay.
I'm not saying they're bad games. They're just not for me.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I was getting at is like I'm watching this, and I mean, you knew what it was right from the start. Which is fine. Yeah. But the first character they show is Nobunaga Oda.
Yes.
And all I could think of is, God, can you put yourself back like 91, 92?
Okay.
Yeah.
And going into a store and seeing Nobunaga's Ambition.
Yeah.
And playing it and thinking someday this is going to be running around a giant field slashing people.
Yeah.
Slashing hundreds of guys.
Yeah.
In like these big anime style battles, and
they still do the
super gorgeous
Nobunaga's Ambition, right?
Sure, but that's not what Koei is now. I mean, not really. Well, Tecmo Koei.
They still do Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and I think
or even stuff.
One of those
someday
came out
be a one-on-one fighting game.
Yeah,
right.
Because that's what Dynasty Warriors was.
The
first Warriors was a one-on-one fighter. So anyway, it's just it always strikes me because I just remember they were such a cottage industry,
right,
in the late '80s, early '90s.
Yeah,
where the any Koei what I can't think of the rest of them, but Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Nobunaga's Ambition,
right?
Aerobiz,
thank you.
Right.
Like it was just you knew what you were getting. There were very specific people who were really, really super into those games, and that was all Koei released ever.
Yeah,
yeah.
And now it's just like I couldn't have imagined as a 13-year-old playing one of those games that this is where it was leading. That's all.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Times change, old man.
Apparently.
Give it the program.
When are we getting a new Kessen?
Oh man.
Number one PlayStation 2 release title.
Did we talk about the secret best game shown at the Nintendo Direct though?
We did not. You want to introduce this?
I'm referring, of course, to Crayon Shinchan Ora to Hakase no Natsuyamushi Natsuyasumi Natsuyasumi
Summer vacation.
Oranai Nanokakan no Tabi.
Oh my God, you're still going.
That's the title's still going. Ora no Hakase no Natsuyasumi.
Yes, there you go.
Ora ranai Nanokakan no Tabi. Which, of course, translates to the Crayon Shinchan game that's coming out for Switch.
I wish you just said that it translates to Crayon Shinchan 4.
This was the game shown on the Nintendo Direct in Japan.
Right.
But
Japan
not
only.
the Nintendo Direct here in the United States. And this is a...
Or Canada.
Or Canada.
Thank you.
Or Mexico. Or any other North American country.
Really?
And that's it. This game looks great.
It does look great.
Oh my goodness. This Crayon Shinchan, of course, is an old manga / anime series from Japan. We got when was that? Was that the early aughts? Somewhere in that range when they brought it out, when they started mid-aughts, when they localized some of the anime over here
and some of the manga.
Oh yeah, I got some sitting on my shelf right over right over there. There camera wise, there in real life, it's reversing the image on me.
Oh,
but yeah, Crayon Shinchan. It was weird when they brought over, especially the anime, because they didn't so much just do a straight translation. We're getting into kind of working designs territory here, because they added a lot.
They improved it.
Well, they aged it up because Crayon Shinchan is a kid show. It's a kid property. Show. It's very much aimed at like young kids, like you know, like 5-6 year olds, right?
Yeah.
But it has a lot of jokes that you know, cultural differences and all wouldn't fly for Western audiences. You know. Try explaining to the Cartoon Network why your kindergarten character has to drop his pants and
right
and draw little elephant ears on his body, and he provides the trunk. I'll let your imagination suss out where that gag is going.
Yeah. Well, they showed the anime on Adult Swim.
Right. Well, what they did was, instead
of
just
DVD,
doing a straight translation and make it a kid show, was they punched up the translation and just basically made it into like an adult comedy series. Yeah, that felt very at home on Adult Swim. And that lasted for what, a year or two, maybe.
Yeah, a couple of years.
Yeah. But there's a game coming out. Over in Japan, and it looks beautiful.
And maybe it'll have an English option. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
sometimes that happens.
Sometimes it happens. Sometimes
like the Kamen Rider game that you.
Yeah, my Kamen Rider game has a full English translation in it. The apparently someone on Twitter reached out to the game's director and was and was just like, "Holy crap! Please get this game released in the West."
Do you like working at Nintendo?
But the director responded though, and said like, "Yes, I would. We'll see what we can do. I would like to get this in English."
That'd be cool.
So it would be great. I will probably end up importing it if it doesn't. And just muddle my way through it.
Yep.
But no, it looks
great.
It looks great. It's funny too because it's like the art of Crayon Shinchan is stylized,
rudimentary at best.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. It's an ugly, crudely drawn comic, certainly. And it's funny because the characters in the game really reflect that. Yeah, the characters look, kind of gross looking, but then they're in these environments that are just beautiful and lush, and it's a neat looking game. So,
absolutely, yeah,
we'll see what happens.
We shall see.
Yeah.
Well, BlizzCon is also going on right now as a digital event, and we got some updates on some of the games they're working on. I'm excited about Overwatch 2. They had like a half-hour video behind the scenes of Overwatch 2, and they're adding a whole lot of PvE stuff that you can play with a group of friends. So it looks like a 4-player against an Omnic robot sort of force, and they're trying to come up with like as many variants of the stages and the missions that you go on to have it so that it's repeatable. And so probably they don't want to run into a situation like Marvel's Avengers where people complained that the game is very, very repetitive. So I'm looking forward to Overwatch 2 a whole lot. I really loved the first one, and the idea that they're going to have a lot of PvE stuff and a lot of character customization really appeals to me. So looking forward to that. It's not coming out this year, unfortunately, which sucks, but it's looking great. I'm excited about it. And then they also announced Blizzard Arcade Collection, which is, of course, 3 classic Blizzard titles available on new platforms. That's The Lost Vikings, Rock and Roll Racing, and Blackthorn.
Yes.
So,
is that something you're excited about?
No. But I thought maybe one of you would have.
I mean, those were good games. They were good games, but I'm not filled with nostalgia about any of those games.
I rented Rock and Roll Racing back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, I only ever rented any of them, and I actually shouldn't say that. I own a copy of Blackthorn on 32X, but that's more because it was a cheap 32X game and I was collecting them at the time. And there's nothing wrong with it. They're all good games. But yeah, I just like, they're definitely not at the top of my list when I'm thinking, hey, I'd love to go back and play these Super Nintendo games.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now let's see here. Now Blizzard also developed Lost Vikings 2. Right? Or no?
I'd forgotten there was a Lost Vikings.
There is a Lost Vikings.
There is, yeah.
According to the
PlayStation game?
According to the Wiki, no, it was on SNES.
Oh,
I mean,
it might be on this.
It was. According to the Wikipedia, so it must be true. The Super Nintendo version was developed by Blizzard, and the Saturn, PlayStation, and Windows version was developed by Beam.
Beam
Software.
So why? If the SNES one was Blizzard, why is that not on this collection?
I don't know, but it's just the 3 games. Yeah, there's also a Rock and Roll Racing 2, right?
Oh yeah, I believe there was. Yeah, let's see, Rock and Roll.
I mean, there definitely was.
Yeah, I'm just wondering who developed it.
Rock and Roll Racing 2, Hoochie Coo?
Probably Sculptured Software or Iguana Entertainment.
I don't.
Probe. It's probably Probe.
Yes, Probe, Beam, Rare Coin It,
Rare Coin It.
One of those.
Apparently, Rock and Roll Racing 2 was a PlayStation game.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, see, I think I knew that.
Rock
was bad.
Rock and Roll Racing 2, Red Asphalt.
Yep.
Asphalt. Damn.
So
it went there.
I don't know who developed it though, so that may not be
alrighty
Blizzard, but I don't know. How much is this collection?
It's like $15.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Should have had Lost Viking 2 on there.
Well, last week Microsoft announced a new feature for backwards compatible games. They're doing FPS boost on some of the backwards compatible library, starting off with Far Cry 4, Sniper Elite 4, Watch Dogs 2, UFC 4, and new Super Lucky's Tale.
I love that last one. The last one just does not feel like it fits.
I know, right?
New Super Lucky's Tale. That one you can play in up to 120 frames a second.
Damn.
When I go to Jamba Juice, I always pay a little extra to get the FPS boost in mine. Get the vitamin C boost. I get the FPS boost.
Get your FPS boost.
Yeah, really.
So
really wakes me up at the start of the day.
Going to 60 frames a second. And Digital Foundry has a really interesting video. The game that I think is improved the most by this is Sniper Elite 4, and you can really tell in the footage from the Xbox One release to this. It's 60 frames a second versus it's just all over the map on the Xbox One. So that's pretty cool. And Microsoft also announced a new official wireless headset for the Xbox. $100. This thing you can also pair to your phone, which is, they say in the press release that you can use it to be on a conference call and then also be playing video games.
God's sake.
Which was pretty hilarious, but it looks cool. It's $100. I think I'll wait for the reviews of it, but it's up for pre-order now. Anyway.
Yes.
I think that means it's time to go into what you've been playing. So, Greg, we'll kick it off with you.
Before we get into what I've been playing, I wanted to call out that my physical copy of the Insert Coin documentary showed up.
Yeah.
Oh,
man, that is a great documentary. Good documentary. Yeah. So it's all about Midway it's focusing on the early 90s.
Yeah.
Sort of when they were just killing it. Like everything they did was huge, but it's like Smash TV, Mortal Kombat, NBA Jam era. And I love the way they put it together. It's basically entirely done through interviews with the people who were there and were, part of the team and developing those games. And actually should say a few other people like Jeff Gersman's in there as well. And
Ernest Klein.
Yes, that's true. That's not who I was going to say. But yes. Yeah. Oh my God, I can't think of the GamePro editor.
Larry?
GamePro, Dan Amrich.
Dan Amrich, thank you. I couldn't remember his name for some reason. Yeah. Dan Amrich's in there as well, which is cool too because those guys they were in the games industry or the media for quite a long time, and they were there during that whole period. But no, it was really cool to sort of hear about the genesis of all these games and how they were created and sort of the sort of supremely
crazy atmosphere.
Creative, crazy atmosphere that they were working in, and how things like Mortal Kombat was created just basically because they needed a game to fill a 3-month gap in the production line.
Well, it was originally going to be a Jean-Claude Van Damme fighting game,
right?
And then he dropped out.
Yeah.
So
there's just tons of great stuff in there. Tons of great archival footage.
They still needed a game to run the production line, and it happened to just be Mortal Kombat. Yeah, it's great.
So here's a thought experiment for you.
Yeah.
Okay, Jean-Claude Van Damme. The Mortal Kombat was originally supposed to be a Jean-Claude Van Damme game.
Yeah.
Did Jean-Claude Van Damme make the biggest mistake of his life, of his professional career, by backing out of that? Or if it did get released as a Jean-Claude Van Damme game, would the game not have been as popular as Mortal Kombat became and remains
to this day? You might have something there.
John Tobias, I believe, is who they were interviewing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't talk to Ed.
They didn't talk to Ed. Okay. John Tobias, they were interviewing, and he said straight up, Jean-Claude Van Damme dropping out of it was the best thing that ever happened.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go.
because they were completely free to do whatever they wanted at that point.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
They didn't have to deal with any red tape.
Right.
And the guy who ran Midway, he was all about it too. He was just do it.
Good.
Do it 100 times over. So it was super. Watch it if you have any interest in the history of any of those franchises and just arcade history in general, video game history in general. Man, it's fantastic. It's really well done.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say I watched that and just say it was amazing. As far as what I played, so my son bought himself a Switch a couple weeks ago or last week, and he ended up picking up Mario 3D World, which I haven't been playing because I don't really want to play it again. It's a great game.
Yep.
But I have been playing Bowser's Fury. So I spent a fair amount of time this week playing Bowser's Fury.
I read on Twitter that you're gonna hate on this game.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to hate it. It's really good.
Why do you hate fun?
Why do you hate fun, Greg?
How long?
Why?
Cranky old man. No, I think it's an interesting. It feels like an interesting take on like sort of the random floating island concept of Mario 3D World. Or I would say even like Mario 64, where you like kind of went into a level and there were, multiple, I guess I should say Mario 64, where there were multiple stars to get back in that game, but you'd walk in and like, here's the one way you want to do it, right? But then there's also the 5 red coins, and there's also all these different ways that you can collect other stars and sort of other, depending on the star you chose, sometimes you go in and the course will be changed a tiny bit. To get you a different star. And that's really what this game is, except all those islands live in one big world. You're not jumping into them. You're not doing a level select. And from that standpoint, it's fantastic. I really enjoy it a lot. I have nothing against it. Here comes Swords Fury. Thanks, CJ. And I don't dislike Bowser's Fury, the Bowser's Fury part of it. But man, by like, Shine 40, 41, I get it. I'm okay with this now. Like, let's move on. I'm kind of ready for it to be over. And it's not because I don't like the gameplay or what it's asking me to do. It's like I don't like, because I found like what I'm doing now is I'm clock watching, because now when he jumps out, he's out for so long.
Right.
It feels like so long to me that like I find a shine and it's like, well, okay, it's been a while since he appeared, so I'm just going to stand here,
right, and
wait for him to appear. Yeah. So, because when you grab a shine, he disappears again.
Yes.
So and it's like, well, then I'm just it's to me, it's ruining the flow of the game, and I realize I'm choosing to play that way, but it's also ruining the flow of the game because the last time he appeared, I mean, he was there forever. It's just like, oh, okay, yes, go away, please. Like,
you kind of have to
keep
at a certain
playing
point,
this and enjoying it.
At a certain point, you have to sort of live with it, and you have what I found
that's
you have to do.
Saying.
You have to sort of discover what the like platforms that his presence have put in the world that can get you to a shine maybe faster than you would have otherwise, right? To me, like in that later stage, in that between 40 and 50 shines area,
where I'm at,
you just have to like, you may as well figure that he's going to be there the entire time.
And I hate that.
Yeah.
I get it. And I know that that's what the game is. But like I said, it's taken these last 10 or so shines that I need to a point where if I find one, I'm waiting for him to appear so I can make him go away.
How many are you at right now?
42.
Okay.
Can't wait till he gets towards.
I know.
I'm going to be watching.
You're so close. You're so close.
I think I'm going to stream it tomorrow night just to see if I can finish it.
You're so close.
Oh,
I might have to tune in for that.
But I enjoy everything else about it.
Yeah.
And the Bowser fights, love them.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it.
They're really
like
fun.
there's not one other thing about it I don't like, but I'm just like, I want this to be done now.
Right. Now it
wow.
The mechanic needs perfecting.
Right.
I think I complained a little bit about this last week as well, where it's, you'll find a shine that's hidden behind some of the blocks that you need his fire to break, and it's like,
and I mean, strategically, that's a great place to hang out for when he appears.
Yeah, but it's like, obviously, I don't want to have to like write down the location where this is, but I also don't want to stand here for 5 minutes waiting for him to come back.
Right.
It's too bad you can't mark up the map.
That would
in
be
some
nice.
way.
Yeah.
Like annotate, like circle on the map where your thing
well,
is.
again, it's little tweaks. This game, as we discussed last week, it feels kind of like an experiment. Like they're messing around with new concepts. Yeah.
Yep. And I'm all for it. And it's still got that Nintendo polish.
Yeah.
It's still 95% of the time I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
Plus the fact that you can bank power-ups and use them whenever you want.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Very
too.
great.
It's fantastic.
Very great.
Then no time limit is also, except for
limit.
Bowser showing up, is
no
fantastic.
lives. Finally,
No lives is great. Like these are things I kind of wish that Mario 3D World had. Like I wish I didn't have to worry about the clock in that game or lives in that game. Just let me get through it.
Yeah,
that would have been awesome.
But yeah, it's like I said, I'm not hating on it, but I am like very much.
You are.
I don't like how frequently he's appearing and how long he's there at this point in the game.
Well, you're in for a treat.
Well, I mean, once you get to 50, you're into the end game, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So
50,
that's my goal.
Okay.
So
I look forward to it.
As I was playing this, I finished it.
Screw you, Phil.
What? I'm wishing you well as you enjoy playing a great game.
You're not wishing me well at all. I know you better than that.
Oh, come on. It's Greg, Booby.
No, I've stopped listening.
Sprechen Sie talk.
I'm your white knight.
Oh man, I have been doing. I
don't have the 5 o'clock shadow to pull off that line, but I can handle this Euro trash.
You're not growing up the Dale Strang.
Yeah, the Dale Strang. God, such a nice man.
He was.
Every time I looked at him, I thought about the coked out dude from. This was our old boss, Ziff Davis.
Yeah,
and he sported.
Kind of looked like Ellis.
Shadow.
Kinda looked like.
The only thing that looked like
really
him was
close.
the beard.
He kind of looks like Ellis from Die Hard, the same way Miley Cyrus kind of looks like Hannah Montana.
Well, not anymore.
Oh god.
So I was playing Bowser's Fury this weekend as well. I finished it, and when I was towards the end, I was doing a lot of Plessy stuff.
You didn't. Did you 100% it?
Not yet. No.
Okay, so you just got the 50.
The road to 50, right?
Rolled the credits there. Okay,
rolled credits on it.
100% in my books.
Was doing a lot of Plessy stuff, and it's kind of fun to do the Plessy stuff when Bowser is there because you like bring Plessy under, like you go between Bowser's legs and you get a power up sometimes.
Here we go.
Yeah,
it's the way CJ liked it.
Yeah. You get a power up.
Going back to that though, and watching my daughter play Mario 3D World for the first time.
Yeah,
how did they get to the whole cat thing? Like, I'd love to know how did
they get to Tanuki?
What the creative process? Yeah, fair enough.
That's a good point too.
Creative process for that, though. I mean, Tanuki was one thing, sure. No, I don't disagree with that. But like, the whole world is cat themed.
So in this game where you're a plumber stomping mushrooms and throwing turtles at dinosaurs, I don't really get the
cat thing's weird
thing.
Yeah, I'm on board for everything else.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you're hung up on?
That was the bridge too far.
It was. The other thing that I was playing this week was, of course, Capcom Arcade Stadium came out.
Yes.
For free. Two games for free. Ghosts and Goblins and 1943. Yeah, free to start.
Yes.
Fully compatible with your flip grip, if you were wondering.
Yep.
So what do you, I have to say, and I said this in our chat, I am just a sucker for these classic arcade interfaces where it's like, here's a wall of arcade machines.
Yes.
All playing the demo modes of the games that they house. And I will say that they kind of do this. You have the option to switch out what the machine looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Which I really appreciate.
Yeah, because like right when you start, they're all, and I don't know the name of it. There's arcades in Japan were much different than here, right? Where like you didn't have the big lit marquee over machines that didn't look very similar, and were mostly sit down. They weren't all stand up and that sort of thing. And so when you first start this game, you see the wall of all the games that are available. You've only got 2 unless you buy some of the packs, but they're all there on attract mode. Yes. And they're all the same machine. You can go in and modify, customize it based on a few different, I think, traditional Japanese machines that Capcom probably used. I don't know if they were Capcom machines or not. Yeah. They probably were. But then there are a few in there that are sort of what you would call a more traditional American arcade style machine. The only thing that I wish they had done was actually give you the actual machines that Capcom or whoever had licensed. Because Capcom didn't release this stuff, like 1942 and maybe 1943 was released by Romstar here. Right? So, but it would be great to be able to get the original like 1943 machine with the lit marquee on the top and that sort of thing. Yeah. It would be a nice touch. Cool. It's not the end of the world, but it would be a nice touch.
Sure.
Overall, though, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to buy a bunch of packs for this thing, but it's really nice to have. Again, I love having sort of this arcade collection around. I love having this interface. I like that you can sort of, not that I do very much, but you can play it on the machine, so to speak. It's made to look that way.
I never do that with any.
I tried it once or twice. it's it's got some nice options. I mean, you can
rewind.
It's got rewind. You can turn difficulty way down or way up. You can add a bunch of lives. You can fiddle with
states.
They're all very sort of home console friendly. But you also have like a score attack mode that basically turns it into put in a quarter and you get a game. Yeah, you get what you would get in the arcade with no fiddling with anything, which is nice too. I think that covers a major base because I've already read people complaining. It's like, well, it doesn't feel authentic because if I want to, I can go in and change the settings, and that's true. But if you play this score attack mode, you're basically getting what you get if you walk into the machine and drop a quarter in.
I mean, it doesn't feel authentic because you can change the settings. You don't have to change the settings.
No, I know. No. But what I'm saying is if you find that's like if you find that it's hard to resist doing that,
that's like knocking a game because it has unlimited continues.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Buy a deck of cards.
Exactly. Now
I will. Sorry, just one thing I want to say though is the emulation.
Yeah,
it's not great.
Yeah,
it's not terrible, but it's not great.
I've heard people online complaining like about stuff like drop frames and things
shimmering
like that.
For me. You play Ghosts and Goblins and the screen scrolls. It shimmers like crazy.
Okay, yeah.
So that's the thing that I've noticed. Hasn't stopped me from playing. I mean, I played Ghosts and Goblins a couple times. I don't like that game. I don't know many people who do.
I like Ghouls and Ghosts.
Yes, same here.
But I don't really like Ghosts and Goblins.
Ghosts and Goblins is too hard. But
they improved it immensely for the sequel.
Yeah. But I played a lot of 1943. I love 1943.
Yeah.
I can't get past the 3rd level, but I love 1943. Even when I put it to easy, I got exactly as far as I do on normal.
Now, is that not one you can just keep plugging quarters in? Does it bump you back to the beginning of the stage?
Yeah, but I try to play on sort of single credit, just because I'm picking up and playing, throw a credit in kind of thing.
Right.
And I mean, again, the emulation's not perfect, but it's also good enough.
Right.
I feel
it's not at games level.
Right. The problem is it's not M2 level.
No.
I think that's the big thing. The retro gaming community, and to be fair, it's not at Digital Eclipse level either.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we've gotten spoiled if you're into sort of the retro game collections between Digital Eclipse to a point, but really M2.
Yeah.
You're getting what feels almost perfect.
Yeah.
And this is just kind of underneath that. So, you got to understand that going into it. And if you accept that, they're not unplayable by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
They're not at games level, as you said.
No.
But they're not perfect.
Well, I'll spoil it. This is the only game that's on my what I've been playing list this week because I downloaded this and I ended up throwing in the money. I bought all the packs.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Interesting stuff in there.
I was tempted to wait for a sale, So what the way they do it, you download the hub, and 1943 is included with the hub, right. And then they have a special. I'm assuming it's a limited time thing.
I'm guessing
to promote the new Ghosts and Goblins game.
Yeah,
but yeah, you can download just Ghosts and Goblins as DLC, so you get that for free
till like the end of the week.
Oh, is it that soon?
I think it's only like a week old. Yeah.
Okay, well, get in there and get it now, folks.
Yeah.
And then there are 3 packs that cover 3 kind of arcade eras. There's 84 to 88, 89 to 92, and 92.
Oh, is that how they're... Okay.
Yeah, and then 92 to 2001.
Okay.
And each pack has 10 games? Yes, each pack has 10 games in it. The packs are $15 each, or you can buy all 3 of them for $40.
Yep.
So you will save how much, class?
$5.
$5.
Good job, Gregory. You get a gold star.
Thanks
today.
Oh,
yeah. But yeah, so I sprung for the whole McGillicuddy just because I like old arcade collections. So I was like, yeah. You know, I probably could have done by holding off for a sale, but yeah,
that's what I'm going to do. I'd like to get the whole shebang too. Just again, not because I necessarily want absolutely everything that's there.
Yeah.
But I think it's fairly priced as is.
Yeah.
For what you're getting.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely want to wait for a small discount at least.
Yeah. Totally fair.
Just as something to jump into that hub. What I'm doing right now. I mean, I can only choose from one game I really like and one game I never want to play again. But
right. Yeah.
It's as I'm on my Switch.
Yeah.
Maybe playing something else or about to play something else, or maybe I've played a puzzle in Picross or something.
Right.
It's like, I'm going to get a game of 1943 in. Like at an arcade, just going to drop a quarter in, play a game, have my fun, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I mean, it's got, it's got
staples.
It's got Strider. It's got Final Fight. It's got
Forgotten Worlds.
Yeah, I love Forgotten Worlds.
How does that play? So is it just basically twin stick?
You know what? I love it. I haven't played it yet.
I'm interested to know because with the arcade version, wasn't it a dial?
It had you had a dial because the gimmick of that game is it's a shooter and you can fly in any direction, but you can shoot independently. Which I'm assuming it's twin stick.
It has to be, right?
Yeah, but yeah, the arcade did have a dial that you spun around. It's got like Cyberbots on there, which is pretty cool, and
Giga Wing. Some deep cuts.
Yeah, there's some good games. I was a little disappointed just because it's me. I was disappointed that the Mega Man arcade games aren't on there. I'm hoping that at some point
they'll do that as a second wave.
Well, I hope they do.
Be nice
because there are certainly plenty of Capcom arcade, and I'm not even talking like the licensed stuff. I mean, we're not going to get Alien versus Predator. I just accept that. Yeah, but there are some Capcom arcade games that aren't on there that they could certainly fill out with.
It kind of goes along the same lines of what we've said for years about Sega, and every now and then they sort of jump into this and then they kind of back out of it again. But they've got a huge library, and they should take advantage of it. And Capcom's exactly the same way. They've got a massive arcade library.
Yeah.
So why not? Especially at $15 a pop.
Oh yeah,
bundle them up 10 games a piece. Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd buy more of them.
Yeah. They got the crappy arcade version of Bionic Commando.
Right.
Which, I mean, if you played the NES Bionic Commando, which is brilliant and still, I actually played that.
Stands up.
I played it a few months ago, and boy, it still is really fun to play. The arcade version, no,
not so much.
Not as good.
It's not even the same game.
No, well, that was a common thing.
Yeah,
that's true.
Remember the NES version of Strider? You ever play that?
It's different though. Yeah, the NES version of Strider was never meant to be a port.
Yeah, that's true because they were
actually
doing
meant to be its own thing.
They were doing like a big multimedia push with that game, weren't they? So there was a manga.
But I mean, the point is the same.
Yeah,
you look at a lot of NES arcade games like Double Dragon.
I'll tell you what, I played
Not
the
the
hell
same
out.
game.
I played the hell out of that NES Strider game.
Me too. I really liked it. It was glitchy as hell.
That game felt like it was going to fall apart
At any second.
if you look at it. Yeah, like
sprites were swapping and
things going through walls and stuff like that. It really felt like wax and string holding this thing together.
Yeah,
but I had a blast with it. I really enjoyed it.
I finished it
as janky as it was. Oh, same here.
Yeah.
Had it's making me want to go back and dig up the ending on YouTube. I remember the end credit music was outstanding.
That game was outstanding.
Yeah, it was.
And that I don't think it gets recognized for enough.
Yeah. But yeah, I played a few games on there. I got to tell you, the user interface, which you were just talking about, with the arcade games, I absolutely hate it.
Really?
I hate. I mean, I love the idea of it.
Mm-hmm.
I love that idea of having the authentic looking arcade. But when you are flipping through like 30 plus games,
you own, right?
What's that?
I have 30 games though. What am I talking about? Yeah, sorry. I'm thinking from the standpoint of I only own 2 games, and you can just set it, flip through the games you own. But
right. No, I have all the games now. So, but the problem is the screen shows this lineup of arcade machines.
Yeah.
And they're at kind of an angle.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't really see, and it's, you can't really see what's on the screen because they don't have like the marquee. And then you have in the middle of the screen, they have like the actual game logo. And as you scroll, and you can, it's weird because you can scroll left and right, which flips through the arcade machines, or you can move up and down, which moves through the titles. But it's also moving the stuff in the background.
It's true.
And it's really, really hard to see because there's so much visual noise. The game logo ends up kind of blending into the lineup of arcade machines. So it's hard to look at the screen of the actual arcade unit, and it's hard to look at the game logo. It's an ugly, ugly interface.
So they just got to go back to the Xbox arcade interface.
Where it was actually like an arcade you could run around in and stuff.
Yeah, and you could curate what was in what machine.
So good.
Yeah. You could assign different rooms. It was like, oh, this room is going to be like my fighting game room and stuff like that.
One of only 2 times that the Xbox avatars mattered. Because it was nice to see them walking around and playing the games.
Yeah. Oh no, it was great. It was a really wonderful little interface. And also, when you organize the games, so the default view of the games is chronological. So you have the older games up front, newer games in the back. You can swap them out by genre, so you can have like all the, I hear all the shooters, hear all the fighting games or whatever. You can't arrange them alphabetically.
Blasphemy.
Weird. Which is really, really, really weird. So I don't know why they don't let you do that, unless I am somehow missing something. But I was looking all over, like, how can I arrange these in a way that is sensical to me? And I mean, alphabetical is not a it's not a weird sorting choice. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. I'm glad I have it. I messed around with the sort of like score attack mode or whatever. They have like little competition type things. Like there's like a challenge mode.
Yeah.
And it changes depending on the game. And I don't know if it seems like it's going to be a thing that they kind of cycle out like every week or so.
I mean,
where they mix up the challenges. So it's like, see how high a score you can get on one quarter, basically. And it'll upload your score to
an arcade game.
To the servers. Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
And it'll rank you against everyone else and your friends and stuff like that.
What's really soul crushing when
you
do the score attack and you get the message that said you didn't meet the minimum.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we're not even going to bother uploading your time or your score.
1943, and it's like, oh, that was a really good run. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Then it goes to the rankings, like, yeah, you didn't meet the minimum score.
Yeah, I've done that a couple times too, where it's like this. Your score is not even worth the bandwidth.
No.
Not even worth the bandwidth to put it on the list.
You have to pay for it, and
no. Try harder next time, please. But I did one of the challenges for the challenge for Captain Commando. The beat 'em up, the side scrolling beat 'em up Captain Commando. It is it's like a time attack. So it's like, how quickly can you finish this game? So I did that like yesterday or the day before, just to see how well I got through it in like maybe just under half an hour or something like that. Fast enough for them to upload my time to the server. Although I think the cutoff was like 9 hours. So it would have been hard for me to fail that. But yeah, so I played through Captain Commando, which is just not terribly good. Not as beat 'em ups go. It is not as good as Final Fight.
Ouch.
Which is not as good as, let's say, Streets of Rage or several other ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm glad I picked it up. Certainly, there's some games I hope they get on there, but.
Well, it also has like an overarching high scoreboard as well, right? Because you earn like Capcom points, and then there's that as well, which is interesting.
And I think you, what's that? Yeah, it's weird because I think you only earn the little Capcom points by doing the challenge mode stuff.
Yeah.
I think if you just play the games regularly. You don't earn any of that, but if you play the challenge mode, you get those Capcom points, which rank you amongst your friends. Which
I mean, it's a pretty interesting way to keep people coming back.
You know what it does do though, because you rank up. The more points you earn, the higher your rank goes, and that unlocks a few different things, like you can unlock new like wallpaper.
Oh, okay.
Like if you put wallpaper on the sides of your screen, and I think you can maybe change the color of some of the arcade cabinets. Which
I think that's one of the things you unlock.
Yeah, it's a little aesthetic thing, I guess, but
sure.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I play the games, I turn off the wallpaper. Just because I find it distracting. So,
and sorry, I should go back real quick. One of the things I think, because I kind of mentioned this early, but I think it bears repeating. Any of the games actually, but any of the games that use a vertical screen orientation,
right?
You flip those so that you can play in party mode on your, which is very nice.
Yes,
I think you can actually do it on your TV too. But thinking about it,
yeah.
Well, you mentioned the flip grip compatibility early on, but. That's one of the other things that bugs me a bit about the user interface of this. And again, maybe I missed something. I don't think I did though. But you have to adjust. I believe you have to adjust the options per game, as opposed to having.
You can set them all.
You can set where do you go to set them all?
So when you change an option, there's usually a button prompt to like press Y to change it for everything.
Oh, okay. I will have to go in because it's like
that would be annoying.
Because the default is
per game.
The default is when you start playing the game, you're playing it on the arcade unit.
That's right. Yeah,
and you want it, you want it blown up, so it's like, on your, taking up the. When I say taking up the full screen, I don't mean artificially stretch the image and make it look gross, but scale it up so it's so it's.
But they do allow you to do that as well.
But I mean,
why would you?
Who does that?
I don't know.
Your parents.
I think there are people who do.
You go. That's the option. Like if you go to your parents' house and they've picked up this game, they've stretched it out to the full screen,
and they also have motion smoothing on.
Of course they do, because that's how it comes from the factory, and we don't know how to change it, and it looks fine to us.
Yeah,
but okay, so there is an option to change the display settings
for everything
globally. Okay, I'll go peek into that after we're done with this nonsense.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really all I've been That's all I've been playing this week for the most part.
Well, I mean, I've mostly been playing Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. I did finish it, and I did start on the sort of end game, like the post game stuff.
Getting the remaining 50.
The remaining 50. Yeah, they add a lot to do in the world, which is great. I mean, just like Mario Odyssey, you kind of go back in, there's just like a whole bunch more to do, which is fantastic. I do wish that you could annotate the map a little more. Like in a couple areas, there were like cat shine tokens that I didn't have, and the game sounded like it was going to mark those on the map for me. But then when I went into the map, I wasn't sure if I could see some of them. And like there are some notes on the map that are like blue question marks that I went over to those areas and couldn't find anything to do. So I don't know what the deal is there. So maybe it's something that I have to activate Bowser to have show up or something. I don't know, but it was very, very strange. But loving the game. I hope they do another one in this style. I think they could do a lot with this sort of thing, especially if you did like multiple hub worlds. Could be interesting.
Yeah.
So
I don't think I'd want a whole game, a full length game like this, but
no. Oh, well, maybe you take some of what 3D World is and some of what this is, and make it a nice little sandwich.
There you
That'd
go.
Be fine.
Yep. Man, I'm hungry.
Yeah. And I also booted up Splatoon 2 again because I was inspired by the Splatoon 3 trailer.
Well, you
gotta
get caught up.
I gotta get caught up. Yeah, exactly right. But that game's so much fun. I'm so hyped for Splatoon 3. It's gonna be great.
That's 2022, right?
22. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a year out, but I'm very excited for it.
Yes.
Anyway, I guess that means it's time for tweets. All right. Let's do this one from hacker alias Web Andrew Webb, who says, yeah, I couldn't help but notice that CJ pre-ordered Skyward Sword HD for $60. Do you think a 10-year-old game is worth a $60 pre-order without knowing what quality of life improvements they might make or might not make?
I know somebody who does.
Right here. I mean, with Nintendo pre-orders, the way that they do it now, you say you're going to pre-order it, they don't actually charge you until 7 days out of the game's release. So I can cancel it at any time that I want.
Well, unless you're 7 days out.
Unless I'm 7 days out, and then you can't. Yeah, but
almost any time you want.
They email you like 7 days before that saying, hey, we're about to charge you for this thing. For me, I mean, I think I liked Skyward Sword. I'm a Zelda fan. I think I'm going to buy this anyway. I don't see that Nintendo really lowers the price on any other games anyway. So why not get it at launch for $60? So I'm fine with that.
Even if there are no quality of life enhancements, you will still be happy with it, right? Even if it is just
Skyward Sword,
even if it's just
they've
Skyward Sword
already
tossed onto this system, you will be happy with it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. I do wonder if they'll have anything else in there in the package. I don't know what that would be, but
I don't know.
Maybe a Wii Remote Plus?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't want that. Anyway, what about you guys? 10-year-old game, full price?
We sit here and talk about how excited we are to rebuy old games all the time. I think we all agree that sooner or later, I don't really have a cutoff.
30 arcade games for $40.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I mean, I just said, I personally looked at like Mario 3D World with Bowser's Fury and said, that's not worth full price to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I feel like it hasn't been long enough, but I really don't know what the cutoff is. You know, I mean, there could be something that comes out tomorrow that is only 5 years old, and I'm so excited about it that I'll buy it again full price anyway. Hell, I just pre-ordered my copy of Ground Zero Texas for the PlayStation 4.
There you go.
There
It
it
wasn't
is.
$60, but it wasn't cheap.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Let's do this one from. Well, let's continue on the remaster tip. Let's do this one from Namava, who says, "With the internet in the kerfuffle over Nintendo charging $60 for Skyward Sword,
Wow.
I didn't realize there was a kerfuffle over it.
That's
Is
apparently
there really
a
a
thing.
kerfuffle?
there
I
was,
don't know.
but then I think it's also like one of the most pre-ordered games so far this year.
Yeah, it's
so
like number one on Amazon.
who's right? The people paying for it, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
You think it's going to have amiibo support?
Probably.
Gotta be, right?
Yeah, I would imagine they would.
I'd be
I
shocked.
would imagine
if
they'll
they
do
didn't.
something. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Like tap your amiibo to make feet go away. All right.
Oh man, that's. You know how many fee amiibos they could sell?
That
If
would be
you
amazing.
Spend $15 on this fee amiibo and then tap it and it'll take her out of the game completely.
That's right.
I would buy that amiibo.
I would buy that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
also got the
would
Cat Mario
consider
Cat
buying that
Peach.
amiibo.
Yeah.
I got the Cat Mario and Cat Peach.
I saw those today.
And I actually used the Bowser amiibo to summon Bowser
Oh, good.
a couple of times.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Well, that'd be better than standing next to the shine waiting for him to show up.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't have to wait. You just tap it and boom.
See, there you
Yep.
go.
Done.
Why didn't I think of that?
But anyway, Namava continues.
Uh-huh.
The internet in a kerfuffle over Nintendo charging $60 for Skyward Sword. Are there any HD remasters you'd buy at full price without question?
HD remasters. Sorry, did it specify of any type or just anything?
Anything. I mean, if they do Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door, we'd all buy
Yep,
that for 60,
I'd be there.
wouldn't we?
Oh,
I'd be there.
absolutely.
Day one. Yep,
Absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
what's What's that?
If they ever did a nice HD remaster of the Final Fantasy III DS game,
Oh.
I would buy that in a heartbeat. That
okay.
was stupendous.
Well, Square is kind of on a kick of doing various remasters. What was the Legend of Mana was in the direct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
they're
true.
doing. So
That's true.
maybe I'm still waiting for Final Fantasy
Seems
VI
like
to
they're
get
not-
some
yeah,
kind of remaster.
I really wish they would. I wish they'd go back again. It seems like they haven't touched that stuff for a long time. Anything sort of pre-PlayStation they haven't touched for a long time.
What they need to do is they need to give Final Fantasy VI to the team that did Trials of Mana in 3D. And just
Sure.
make it like that. I'll
Yep.
accept that.
I
It
would.
doesn't have to look great or anything. I just want to
You know
replay
what?
Final Fantasy VI.
Exactly. I love Final
3D.
Fantasy VI so much. I don't even really care what it looks like. I would buy it anyway, just because I
Same.
want to experience it. Maybe even if if it ends up being bad, oh well. But
Yeah.
I would buy an HD remake of Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, the N64 game.
maybe
Well,
working
what with all
designs can
that-
do it.
What with all that new Mystical Ninja stuff at Fangamer, maybe
Yeah,
there's
maybe.
something to that.
Maybe that's the hint. 'Cause that was a great game, by the
Yeah.
way. This was the we got two Goemon games in the US for the N64,
Mhm.
and they were both fantastic. The second one was more like side-scrolling platformer. The first one, which is the one I am referring to, was a 3D kind of action adventure game. It was very, very Zelda, very Zelda-y, but it predates Ocarina of Time by like a year.
Yeah.
And it was really damn good, and it was very funny. And I would
Mhm.
absolutely buy an HD remake of it. I would also buy an HD remake of the two Mega Man Legends games. If
I would
because-
consider that too, just because I've never really experienced them, and I want to.
they are, I mean, they have problems.
Yeah.
They have ample problems, and honestly, the bulk of their problems would be fixed by actual analog control and
That's just it.
right stick camera movement. 'Cause that was the problems those games had, was the control, because they were very fun. They were great little action adventure games. They looked great. They were beautiful games. I mean, they were very low poly count. But man, the artwork and the designs of like the mechs and things like that, and the artwork of the textures were, I mean, they're beautiful games. They look nice. They look primitive by today's standards, certainly.
Yep.
but they're still actually pretty nice looking games if you can vibe with that low poly aesthetic.
Sure.
So yeah, man, if they did proper HD remakes of those games, oh man,
maybe they'll bring back Mega Man Powered Up.
Don't give me hope. Don't give me hope, man.
That'd be good.
Mega Man Powered Up 2. Jeez. You know what? Even just get the first one.
They could do it. Why not?
So I can play it digitally. My goodness.
Yeah.
But throw Misadventures of Tron Bon in there.
Yeah.
Get a little trilogy set. I know they canceled Legends 3, but they can give us those.
Exactly.
I'd buy them.
Maybe that'll leak sometime. We did get the version of Dinosaur Planet with Fox McCloud.
Oh yeah, that's
recently.
Right.
And GoldenEye on the 360.
Yeah.
So who knows?
I know you're a big Star Fox Adventures fan, so
yeah, I am.
So
love it.
This is probably right up your alley.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't remake that game. I won't pay $60 for that.
You would just for
no, I would no.
Just for the irony.
No. He says he wouldn't do it. That's when he's going to do it.
No, I would not.
What if they did? Or they bundled it with a HD remake of Donkey Kong 64, which you love. Which you love for reasons unknown.
I liked Donkey Kong 64 at the time, but it was a different era of 3D platformers.
No, it wasn't. Wasn't that different?
I played all the way through that game. I played that game to completion.
Oh, so weird.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Which of the Kongs is your favorite in that game?
I don't remember their names.
Lanky? Chunky?
Yeah, Chunky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Flippy?
Stupid.
Krabby?
It did have a nice emulated version of the original arcade Donkey Kong game, though. They had to rebuild from scratch.
That's true.
Yeah,
it's got the cement factory stage in there.
I think it does.
I mean, if it's the arcade game, it has to, right?
Yeah. All right, Hacker Alias Froyog Soft Serve says invert Y, yes or no?
Yes, all the time. Yes,
man.
Every day, yes.
I am a no on this.
You guys are weird.
I haven't even answered yet.
You were shaking your head no, so I just assumed your answer was going to be no.
I haven't even answered yet. I don't understand the question.
There we go.
It's weird. It's weird for me because I do not have a consistent answer. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. And I cannot, for the life of me, explain the thought process that goes through my head.
You know what it is for me is that if it's a game where I feel like I'm tilting a camera, I invert.
Okay.
Right? So if I'm on an axis and I want to look up, what I'm thinking about is almost like what the handle of a tripod would have to do.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Down to look up.
Right.
Yeah. And of course anything to do with flight, obviously.
Right.
Down
sure.
That's
Yeah, I mean, if I'm playing like Ace Combat or something, yes, I am going to invert the controls. I want to pull down to go up.
There was some game, I think it was like Ratchet and Clank, maybe,
where
I do invert the controls
for aiming your weapon.
Yeah,
because that's a third person game, and you're aiming. So,
but having said that about the camera, I will not invert. That's just weird.
Yeah. But usually I just go in and see whatever feels like it's the way it should be, and then I approve of that selection. like in Halo, like it says like, all right, look up, look down. Do you like these controls? Yes or no?
Right.
Yeah. So
you need to have that narrative built into your.
I need the
invert camera. Yeah.
Yeah. They need to design the narrative around it. Then I'll approve. All right. Let's finish up with this one from Hacker Alias Earthbound G-Man, who says, what is one tweak that you would make to a good game that would make it a great one?
Oh my God. I saw this and I felt like you were going to ask it, and now I wish I'd come up with an answer.
Here's the thing with this. Like, I think a lot of people on the internet are like, if the developers just did this one thing, it would be great. And you always think of that, not thinking of the other ramifications of that tweak, right?
Okay.
So,
what's the one easy secret that game devs don't want you to know?
Mario 3D World, take out the time limit.
Take out time limit and lives in Mario games.
Yeah.
Bowser's Fury got it right.
Fury?
Yeah.
Well, Mario Odyssey doesn't deal with that either, right? Doesn't have... does it have lives? I forget.
I'm pretty sure Odyssey has lives.
But no time limit.
Sure?
I don't remember.
Doesn't matter. I mean, these are toys, man. Who cares?
These are toys. We're doing a podcast about toys.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know about the time limit, but I'm pretty sure Odyssey has lives, and there's absolutely no reason for.
There's no reason though, because you can
for a platformer to have lives these days.
No.
Yeah, it's an outdated concept that they are clinging to for no reason. The aspect I would change is all games are free.
Were you trying to push some Apple Arcade agenda on us? Dude.
For just $5 a month, my friends.
I am a subscriber to Apple Arcade now.
I
am.
You and everyone else who forgot to cancel. After
my daughter really likes Sneaky Sasquatch.
What is Sneaky Sasquatch?
Sasquatch. It's a game where you play as a Sasquatch and you try to like take things. So
is it at all related to Urban Yeti?
No, but it's similar.
Well, you know what? I bet it's not similar.
Probably not. No.
Do you remember Urban Yeti?
No, I don't at all.
Urban Yeti was a weird game that was not very good.
Yeah.
But it got by on its charm of being Urban Yeti.
All right. We done?
I mean, my answer is get rid of lives in Mario, which they dip their toe into it with Bowser's Fury, and hopefully they remember to do that next time they make a full-fledged Mario game.
Yeah.
Because
Me too. That'd be good.
Yes.
Do you want an Odyssey 2, or do you want something new? Do you think that it's time for them to move on?
No, I don't want Odyssey 2. They haven't made games for that thing in like 40 years.
Mario Odyssey.
Man, I've been itching for a new Casey Munchkin. I don't know what Greg's talking about. I disagree.
My mind just immediately, when you asked, why is he asking if I want an Odyssey 2? Is this a tweet? I know.
Mario. We're talking about Mario.
Casey Munchkin DX Remix Edition. Yeah.
Pay $60 for that.
Absolutely. I'd buy that.
You know what? I love Mario Odyssey 2, but I really want Mario Kart 9 first.
Really?
Yeah.
Went with the direct.
Not
that I expected it, but God, let's get a new Mario Kart, please.
How about this, Greg? Greg, how about this, Greg? So Bowser's Fury. Okay? You got your Bowser's. I know you hate Bowser's Fury, but stick with me for a minute here.
Sure.
Open world kart.
Open world. You have those giant open world with the little islands, but instead of like swimming around to them, you got a kart race to them. Yes, absolutely. You get your shines. You hop in your cart. Maybe you use your shines to upgrade your cart with new tires and bumpers. That's a thing cars have. And then you race. You race along the Rainbow Road to your next
are we
destination.
Done?
What do you think?
No.
What do you think? And then you mix some Mario Party in there.
Thank you very much for listening.
If
you have a question for us
bones.
or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1Podcast on the Twitters, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you will find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Seward.
I have the next one almost written. Hopefully it'll be out this week.
Very nice. You'll find Generation 16 episodes as they happen.
Finished the new script this week. So going to start editing the video this week. That's awesome. I'm excited. I don't know how soon it'll be out. Doesn't get them close at all, but hey.
Excellent. You will also find show notes and links to all the things that we talked about during this episode. You'll also find a link to our Discord server where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
We are being informed on our chat that Mario Odyssey did not have lives, by the way. Hacker alias KSO0514. And there it is. If you're watching the video, there's the message right there on our screen.
Technology.
You can do that nowadays. Look at this.
Wow.
Mario Odyssey did not have lives. So, congratulations, Nintendo. You did it. You figured it out. So, good on them.
Yeah.
If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app, whatever that may be. We're also on Stitcher Radio. We're on Spotify. We're on, you can like us on Facebook. You can watch our show. Well, first of all, this is where it's going to get confusing.
That's true.
You can watch video archives of our show on the YouTubes.com/P1 Podcast. And assuming we continue using this Melon app here.
Which I think we will.
Which CJ thinks we might.
Yeah.
I was talking to CJ earlier. He said that we might keep doing this.
Yeah.
You can watch us live most weeks on the YouTubes, on the Twitters, the Facebooks, the Twitches, the Friendsters, the Classmates.com.
None of that.
Any of those.
No.
You can catch us live.
Not those last two.
Follow our Twitter account, which is at P1 Podcast, to find out when we are doing our next live broadcast. It's typically Sunday evenings at 5:30 specific time. So join us then, won't you? If you've liked what you've heard, and how could you?
Yeah.
You can head over to patreon.com/P1 Podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. CJ is saving up to buy a giant mallet, which he is going to use for fruit smashing purposes.
Yeah. Make your sangria.
That's
pretty good.
Bring a raincoat if you're going to be in the first few rows.
That's what it's called. Raincoat sangria.
Raincoat sangria.
Yeah.
The first 3 rows will get wet. And if you have a couple bucks left over, you can head over to generation-16.com where you'll find the Patreon link.
Back up.
What?
You didn't tell us about the $5 tier.
Oh, the $5 tier. Yeah.
Oh, boom.
There's a $5 tier.
Cheap.
Anyway, this is for the Patreons.
Well,
this is for okay. I'm sorry. Well, see, I forgot to mention Generation 16 last week, and I got all self-conscious about it, so I didn't want to miss it this week. Let's back it up.
Okay.
To the Player One Patreon. Not only does CJ steal our funds, but
that's true.
But you are also entered in a special drawing. Apparently that is wrong. That noise should sound very familiar to anyone who is a Patreon supporter of the $5 tier.
Cheap.
There it is. If you are a member of that $5 tier, you do gain access to a weekly bonus episode. We record it right after this. No fooling. Where we play games, crack wise, do all the things we can't do on the normal show. Just cause. And do we have a game this week, CJ?
We do. It is another Game Fan Review quiz.
Boy.
That's right.
Boy, another Game Fan Review quiz. Watch us try and fail to guess what games are being discussed.
This will be a good one.
Because I always guess Crazy Ivan, and we finally got to Crazy Ivan, so I don't know what to do now.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what random game to guess when I'm at a loss. So join us for that, please. And here's Greg's part. If you have a couple bucks left over, like I said, go to generation-16.com. You will find the Patreon link to help support Greg Stewart's outstanding, and it is outstanding, web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the Sega Genesis.
Thank you, Phil. And yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I finished the script for the new episode. And if you are a donor of the $5 Persuasion,
also cheap,
you get early access to those. Actually, $3 Persuasion, you get early access to those episodes, but you also get access to video blog posts every week called The Weekly Commute, where I talk about the creation of the current episode, as well as other videos I'm working on, games I'm playing, books I use for research, and also, talking about the game room that I'm still building downstairs and feel like I'll be building for the next 20 years. So lots of content.
It's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
Very nice. And of course, remember to check out secondplayer.gov.
No. Not the URL. Not the correct URL.
.edu.
Secondplayer.net.
.net.
That's the one.
Cast your net to Second Player, where CJ, describe your hot new website, please.
Yes, it is highlighting podcasts and videos about video games that people make and want you to listen to and watch. Did a thing about the Video Game History Hour, interviewed a guy who worked on Midway's Power Up Baseball. That was a Blitz-style baseball game they were working on with incredible technologies, but it never actually got released. But it did go into testing, and a ROM of it is now on the internet for people to mame up as much as they'd like.
Nice.
Also did one video about Skyward Sword's time travel anomalies, and highlighted a video from a competitive Splatoon 3 player who analyzed the trailer.
A competitive Splatoon 3 player?
Competitive Splatoon player who analyzed the Splatoon 3 trailer.
That makes more sense.
There we go.
That makes more sense.
Got it on the second take.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, excellent.
Yes, and you can see that stuff and more, because there are a lot of great people making a lot of great podcasts and videos, and I want to highlight those on Second Player.
There we go.
Yeah.
So everyone, go visit secondplayer.net.
And
enjoy, please.
Yeah.
CJ, thank you very much.
Thank you, Phil,
for all this.
I think we figured out a good streaming setup here.
You're really quite taken by Melon app.
I am taken by the technology that we are now using.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And this chat seems to be working.
It does.
Just fine. So
yes.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting. Gregory.
Yo.
Moo, thank you for joining us as well.
Thank you, Philip.
I do what I can.
Yeah.
And of course, thank you to our wonderful, wonderful listeners, every one of you. Please take care of yourself. Please wear your masks. Please watch out for your family, your loved ones, your friends. And my goodness, yourself, of course. And we will hopefully see you all next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.